finishing up this section here. Let me make sure I got the right place. We're in Tefillas Arvis here. And what is the subject that we're talking about? This subject is the Hamshachas Hana'asas Tefillos and the different Tefillos. How's this work? Okay, let me get this on. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay, so we're down at Tefillas Arvis. So let's see if we can understand this. He said, "But Tefillas Arvis na'asa chatikun bekelim gitzanim." So we understood that this is a tikkun that's directed to that, but I think that this is talking about the yichud of Yaakov and Rachel. So, but on the other hand, let's see what it says. V'nim shachim bo kol tzelem amochen de yasos of both Yisrael Sava and Tevunah mamish kaseh the chakras, just in the same way. It's going to go like that. Now, where am I? I have a little number ches down at the bottom. It says be'inyan emisai na'asis aliyas beruin the Arvis. Yu'un l'kamon. He's going to talk about it in the next piece, which is, let's see, this is the end of Siman Dal. He's going to talk about it in Siman Hey, but in Siman Vav is really where the issue that brought us over here resides, I think, to a certain extent. Again, he said, "Betfilas Arvis na'asa chatikim bekelim hitzanim, nenim shachim bo kol atzalim hamochim." So what comes in at this time is the entire tzalim of the mochim, the yasas, that gives us Sava Tevunah mamish, God say that the chakras. So he said, "Sheba Kriat Shemah the Arvis." When he say Kriat Shemah at nighttime, nim shachim hamochim the ach al gabe reish the zeranpin. The mochin, the acharayim, come and they sit on the bed on top of the head as their anpin. The niknasim bacha mochin the vak the tevunah, and what comes in at that time, he says they're all mamshech. So they're all mamshech. But what actually comes in here is going to be the vak of tevunah. The velachar mekan. But Tefillas immediately, then you come into this stage. The mshachim shar hamochin the ach hamochin the panim. So all of the mochin come in at that time. The call is say to the chakras, and it really works the same way as it does in chakras. So let's say, so this is all. I don't know. I seem to be missing something with this, but I'm doing the best I can. Let's go on. So I hear what he said. So he said that all of it comes down, but only the vok of the female side comes in. Levad, that is at Kriat Shema. Besides the mochin, the kelim kitzonim, the B'nai can revisit. But Seder, who the order is like this: shenim shachim b'chadash. Called Salam Mochin, the Yanikid, the Yasash, and Istalkul, all of that, the Mochin of Kadness, all come back. V'chein Mochin, the Vok, the Tevunah, the Vok, the Yasas, the Godless, and also that comes in, both Yisrael Saba Tevunah, or both Yisrael Saba and Tevunah. V'lefi Sharachol Omedet B'chachaz and B'chachaz the Mata, the Zer Anpin. Now the reason why is because since only the Vok comes in, all that Rose or Rachel is standing really for the Chaz Lamata. And the Shefa that's coming in, the Vok, doesn't reach below the Chazan. But the Matam is that, so that's where Rachel is located. Azai Kevich and Nikdusach Bezecha Baraka Mochin the Vok the Yasos and Tevunah. Mispashne Besfiras Chabad Chagat Shalom, that's the top spheros. Keneged Kaniskar. Nimsa Shalom Nimshkul Mochin the Nai the Zasa. Nothing reached the Nai, that is the lower part, that is the part from the Chaz and Lamata, Ashaganeged Makov Amidis Rachel, which corresponds to where Rachel would be located. Ba'al Kain Ein Ke'ez Zivug Imo, so therefore there's not going to be any yichud takes place with her. Rak Imleach Omed Keneged, I guess he just says, he doesn't say Kenegdo, which I should say, but he says that is only opposite, Lamala Rabbi up above the Chazah. So therefore the Shefa could only go that far because the Mochin are just in the top part in the Chabad Chagat. Shesham Nim Shochin Mochin, because there's where the Mochin are going to go. So therefore, V'chazivug Na'asa Im Yaakov Ha'ola B'Mekomo, So there we have the Yaakov is able to rise up. Shetachas hachaza elamala min hachaza. He could go up above into the chaza. And let's see the fi shamakum, because he adds parenthetically, I guess. 1 second. So he adds the fi shamakum mahu panui. It's empty. Kevin Shiyakov Omed Bepon the Zer Ampin, he's there, the Zer Ampin, he's from the Chaz of Lamata, but normally that's where he is normally. Umitzad Panech the Panin the Zer Ampin, and he's on the front side. Minachaz of Lamala, he's able to grow up to the Bechaz of Lamala, Ein Sham Shum Partzah, so in that place, because there's no Partzah there. Masha Ein Kain Rachel, which is not the case by Rachel. Rachel just simply is not there. 1 second. 1 second. Lefi shehi omed is ba'achta zer anpin, because she's on the back side, he's on the front side, but he's able to move up because there's nothing there. Which is masha ein kain lefi shehu omed ba'achta zer anpin, but lamala b'meno, and up above her there's a block, which is omed is Leah, because Leah is there. V'lacha tefillah mistalkim called tselem hamochin. Then after, once again, all of the Sal of the Mochin leave of godless, the Yisrael Sabbath Tevunah. So all what we said is that the Vok, I'm getting a little confused because I thought only okay, but at any rate, they only come in, if there's both of them, Yisrael Sabbath and Tevunah, they only come into the Chaza, they don't get any further down. V'chein Salim Hamochin, the Yanika, the Yasas, V'lamed Mem, the Yanika, the Tevunah, they all leave. So the Kriat Shemah Alamita, so now coming over the Kriat Shemah Alamita, Nimshachim Bechadash, the Mochin all come back again. Call him Mochin the Yanika the Yasa, so all of the Mochin the Katnas come in. Shedistalko V'chem Salam the Yasa, V'lamed Mem the Tevunah, and what comes back? It says the entire Salam of Yasas and the Lamed Mem the Tevunah. V'chein the Mochin the Vok the Tevunah the godless, and also the Vok of Gevunah the godless. So we have entire Katnas comes back in at Kriya Shemal Lamita, remember this. But all that, the Mochin of godless, you only get the Vok of Tevunah once again, and you get the same situation where you're not going to be able to make a Yichud up above, down below the Chaza. Let's go over to Siman Hay. So we're moving along. It's like I say, I think it's really Siman Vav that pertains to the place we stopped. But we're getting a lot of background here. We're trying to understand this. So Seder Hamshachas and the Asas B'Kriya Shema Shalamita. So now we're going to talk about that. So he writes B'Sidurei Rashash, and the Sidurim of the Rashash, the Sadra b'Seder Kriya Shema Shalamita Chakama B'Kama Hamshachos. So he says that there's lots. He goes through this. I'm not sure what he means. We'll see. So we're going to explain them according to their art of V'Nivar B'Kol Echa B'Chem B'Be'eze Partzufim Hu Na'asa, which Partzufim he's talking about. So it says Posuk Rishon Hamshachas Mochin Devok Tevunah. So what happens in the first pasuk, which is, I guess, Shema Yisrael, I'm not sure. Pasuk Rishon, Shachas Mochin Devak the Tevunah, that's what's going to happen. The Vok of Tevunah is going to come in the first pasuk. The pasuk Rishon, the Kriya Shema, the Sadr Seder Shachas HaRogil, Shaar Sidrei Kriya Shema Al Hayam. Okay, he said, "V'hu seder hamshachas hamochin da'ach," and what's happening is it's come the hamshachas hamochin da'ach come in. Techila nimshachim chelik machamochin de'yinika. What comes in first? Lenuk b'tevis shema. So lenuk, it comes into the nuk. B'tevis shema lezah b'tevis Yisrael. So when you say the word shema, then you have this hard to understand. He said, "Techila nimshachim chelik ma'amochin de'yanika," which is katnas, only a portion of it, goes into the nuk b'tevis shema. L'zer anpin b'tevis Yisrael. So that threw me a little bit because without a nesira, I don't know how they got into the nuk, but he says that. So of the lo'abach of the Yisrael Sabbath of Tevunah b'tevis Chavaya Elokeinu Chavaya. So mochin come from there. So then you say the word echad, it causes the man to go up. Benaz zivugim shall call partsufim ma'av sag da'ak, and as a result of that, it's a chain reaction. This goes all the way up to the av sag da'ak and causes a yichud to take place. And then it said partsufim ma'av sag da'ak ad abba ve'ima, and all of this chain reaction coming back down. V'nim shachim b'mochin the yanika v'the godless, and now you're going to have a hamshacha of the mochin of godness and the mochin of godless that are going to come in. V'niknasim b'zer anpin a mochin devok de'ima. So what's going to come into zer anpin now is what? We're talking about the vok de'ima. I think he means of godless. Kol hasedach ha'mavura b'semen ha'koydin. V'lachem mekan, then after that, let me see, where was I? Let's see, I moved around. So what happens then? So now he put both of them in, into Leah and into Rachel. The mochim come there. So he said, so to understand this, we have to go over it through the words of the Rav here. And what does the Rav say? And he says that this is Drush Dalad of the Kriat Shemah. So he writes, he says like this, Drush Hey Delay, let's go on. So he said, and he just, this is site reference here. Drush Hey Delilah, the Yesh the Kabbat B'Kriyat Shema Shalamida, as called Hakavanot Shenizkrocha B'Kriyat Shema the chakras. You have to think all of that at the same time. So now let's see a little bit more. He says, Hamshacha zu na'asa l'ben dema dekad shah haprati. Now he says this gets a little more complicated, obviously. So we have to think about what does the ben dema mean. That is the female aspect of the male, because in the morning you're going to get ma dema. Here you're going to get the ben dema. So he said, but of what? Of kad shah haprati, of the 24 hours, a specific 24 hours, which I think he means 24 hours. I know this is a new concept. So, trying to work with it. In Pesach Naim, he says, "As shehi naasis bezun the pratim the kad shah." This the pratos the kad shah. So this is really what happens to that bezun the pratos the kad shah the yom rishon. Ben dema shalahem. Now let me go over this again. I'm not sure that I really have a good grasp of what the Kad Shah Prati is. So I assumed that meant 24 hours and whatever's going on at that time. That's what I thought he meant. I'll read it one more time. Now he says, Yom Echad, comparing it, I know, in some way to the Yichud of Kad Shah HaKolel, which takes 3 days to do this. I'm not sure that I got it. So number Aleph here, he has a little Aleph. So he says that's where you see this. Cause of ben de ben. He writes it not the ben de ma, but the ben de ben. It's a complete female aspect that comes in at that time. So a lot of people say that. And he mentions the names of Pasasada, Pasasada. This has to be said at the beginning of the nighttime. So he said once again, the Kriat Shema ne'emes b'techilas halayla, v'alkei lamdo shehi keneged the tikun the chetziach rishon shel halayla. So therefore it corresponds to a tikun that takes place in the first half of the night, hana'as parts of ben de ben, which takes place in the ben de ben. Now, he's telling me something here. He's telling me that the yichud of Kad Shah Prati starts with Marav, after Marav at nighttime. So he said, okay, so let's go back to the beginning of the Lamdu, Shehi Keneged the Tikun the Chetzia Rishon Shalalayla in the first half of the night, and the Asvit parts of Ben de Ben, because the yichud, I guess, of the Kad Shah Prati begins with nighttime. That is the first part of night. But actually, in fact, the Kavanah really is on the Ben Dema. That's what's going to be. V'chein ku gam b'shem and Sason. He also brings that too. Not sure what this is a little over my head. This because there's a lot missing, and what this is supposed to be doing is filling in the blanks, and there's a lot of blanks I don't really have a grasp of. Trying to work on it. Shuhu hanisakim bechatzas alayla ve'ela, because that's the part that really, he says this is what the Kavanah has to be, because although that is the part that really takes place after midnight. The Kavanah's Kriat Shemah shalamita Haim al Shema also, because it's really talking about what's going to be the Asos Bechatzas Alayla, because it's coming towards what's going to happen at nighttime. After midnight. So keeping going on, he says we're going to move over here to right below the Aleph, and he says Dehin is Bor La'el. The Mevad Seder HaTikun Dekad Shaar HaKolo, besides the fact that you have a 3-day process of Tikkun going on, and we still need to hear more about that. Seder HaTikun Dekad Shaar HaKolo, Yeshna Seder Tikkun Dekad Shaar HaPrati. This is also happening. Hanisaken Afhu Begimul Yomim, which also takes place over the course of 3 days. I'm really confused, but going on. So what happens is, he says every portion of the daytime. He means of the day, I think. That we see one portion is done. And from midnight until you reach the morning. He said, Nisakin the Ben Dema, that's when the time is for this. On the first day, he's talking about the Kad Shah Prati. You have here Rishon Nimshachim Eloch HaMochin Da'ach, the Mochin of Ach come in at that time. We're looking number bet down below. So number bet down below, trying to get a grasp here. The parts of Kad Shaar HaKolo, that also when we talk about the Kad Shaar HaKolo, Nimshachin Ke'ez Mochin Da'ach L'chelik HaBein Dama, also you have that in the Kad Shaar show. So he said Dama Shalom. So read again, the Gam parts of Kad Shaar HaKolo. What's happening there? Nimshachin ke'es. What is the ace? What is the time? I think he's talking about what? At nighttime. He said Nimshachin ke'es mochin da'ach lachelik ben dema, to that portion which is called the ben dema shalom. Mikol makom kosav v'pesach anayim sham she'ein anu mekuvanim amshachas mochin da'ach shel parts of Kad Shaar HaKolo kasher Kad Shaar HaKolo. We're not doing that. That's not a kavanah. Because they already have that at the time they come out, and it needs explanation. One needs lots of explanation, in my opinion. So let's go on some more. We try to these are ideas. They're not connected necessarily to a motivation or exactly why it's coming this way. I'm not really understanding the whole idea, but I'm trying. So the order of the flow that we're talking about. When you say the word echad, the Posuk Rishon Nimshachin Mochin Da'ach Devok the Tevunah. That's what happens there. When you say, so this is a principle that I can't understand about the understanding this, is when you say the word echad, then you get the hamshacha of the Nimshachin and Mochin Da'ach Devok the Tevunah. The ARI comes. So he says into that time, but only of the Vok. But Pasa Boshem Kavod Malchuso, Nosin Zer Anpin Esa Aras Amochin Laleah, then they're going to go into Leah, the Rachel. He says it also he has Rachel. V'tevis Va'ed, when you get to the word Va'ed, so this is something that is in the Kriat Shemah, in the RASHASH. V'tevis Va'ed, when you say Va'ed, Nimshachin Ezav Shaar HaMochin Da'ach, then all the rest of the Mochin come in at that time. Shehem the Gar to Tevunah, Uvok V'gar the Yasas of Kolomon. We're going to see this as we go forward. Let's look at number Gimel and try to understand all these different details. If it's not a complete understanding for me, I'll keep going because these are ideas or parts that are going to fit back into when we get back into the night drushes again. So he says, Chelik Zeh, what Chelik he's talking about? Hamshachas agar to Tevunah uvok v'gar de Yasas. We're bringing in the entire mochin of Yasas. Who hosafa shall, this is something that's added in by the Yareh. So in the regular Siddur, that is on the Nar Shalom, it's not there. But rather he has it in brackets as an addition. Aval the Sadeh, in Pasasada, Ahmad Shin Lamed Zayin, say Mian Bezeh, he argues with that. He says no, because at the time a Yareh Shahosiv came. So the reason why the Yareh is bringing this in, who mishum de kasha the ma'acher shelo nimshku b'tevis echad. Since they didn't come in when you say the word echad, that all that comes in when you say the word echad. Ki ima mochin the vok the Tevunah, that's all that comes in. So if only the vok the Tevunah comes in, ek mekuvana the acher mekan the hotzi kol chatzelin the yasos be'esa dormita. So he says that when you go through the process and you're going to go into the dormita, let me read it again. Ek mekuvana the acher mekan. How can we say after this that we say that come in? I got to go backwards to get this better. So back is because of the Tam Yara. What's the reason that the Yara says that says what he said? I'm not trying to remember what he said. Who mishum de kasha the ma'acher shelo nimshku b'tevis echad. All that happened when you said the magic word echad. Ki im hamochin devak the Tevunah. Only the 6 lower sefirot of Tevunah come in. So if that's all that happens, so how can you say after that, the Hotzi call from Salam the Yasas, that you're going to bring the entire Salam of both Yisrael Zava and Tevunah, Beisa Dormita, during the time of the Dormita, V'obelo Nimshkul Lo Ki Im Havok the Tevunah, because he only has a Vok. Ba'alkein Hosif the Sader as Hamshachas Sharcha Mochin the Ach. So therefore, he adds on to organize all the Hamshachas of the Shaar HaMochin Da'ach. Because of the Sada, so the Sada writes on this, he says, the Ein Zecha Bekusha. So he says that, I'm not sure what he's saying, I just really can't quite grasp it. Because of the Sada, the Ein Zecha Bekusha, that's really not a question. He said, it's Kavan, the Kavanas Hamshachas and Mochin Da'ach, the Kavana that you have when you say the word Echad, and the Hamshachas of the Mochin Da'ach, the Tevunah be'echad, who zun haprati is in the specific zun at that moment. Now, I'm not sure what he means by zun haprati. We have lots of words moving around, and this is one of them. Vonim shachin rak vok the Tevunah, and there you see at that point only the vok the Tevunah comes in. Veda kabonas a dormita. So when we say that there's a dormita now in the mochin to be transferred over to the nok, who bezun the Kadsha, that's in the zun of Kadsha HaKolel the Yom base, which is the Kadsha HaKolel for the second day. So I really don't have a good grasp at this moment of exactly how the Kadsha comes in at each day. Shebo kavar nimshuko kol mochin the ach etmol, because all the mochin the ach, now he's telling us, come in the first day. Ad kan devarav. So what exactly means? Still, Uvadas Yara Nira Lomar Shuhu Sover came Tam Acher, that he holds like that, but for a different reason. What's the different reason? The Afkul Lamed Maham Shachos Naasa Lakad Shaha Prati. So he says that he's also learning from the Shacha that takes place at the Kad Shaha Prati. There's lots and lots of different parts here. So maybe Mitzvah Shem, but by the time I come back to this the next time, I'll have a better grasp of what's going on, because I know where it is, of the Hamshacha that takes place in the Kad Shah Prati. Rak bedas the Danto shemeguvonim ata kol Hamshachas amocha diyom achad v'rom rishon, that we're taking into account all the Hamshacha that takes place in the first day. B'chein kosav Pesach Hanayim, also the Pesach Hanayim says And also the Shari Rachamim, he says all of those. Ba'ad Rabba the Shita Sasada, Yesh the Ayin, La'ayin, Amisan, Nimshachim, Sharcham, Mochin, the Ach. So this is a little bit past me. I'm missing a lot. Moving on, that was number Gimel, which is down below. So he says, now the next topic is, and there's a little bit more to do here. He says, "Am shochahi gam lekeda b'benim the Yaakov Rachel the Zun Hayomi." So here's another concept. So what is Zun Hayomi? What's happened in Zun Hayomi would be, to me, think that whatever's going on with them is what we basically know, which is the yichudim that take place in a particular day at the different times that we're davening. So mivad zeh na'asa hamshachas mochin devok the Tevunah gam the kelim penimium the Yaakov Rachel. So there is still kelim the penimium, the Rachel the Yachol. There's a hamshacha that's going to take place there. The Yaakov Rachel the Zun Hayomi of the regular Zun, which meant that yichud took place in the morning in Shachris, and then it continued on in the Soim of Mincha. And now at nighttime it went to the Chitzonim. So he says, but each time that you do this, the Hamshacha really returns again. And what do you have? Here is the Mochen from the previous day. And again, to understand what he means by the previous day, does he mean the previous day that was before Marav, which is true, was the previous day? Or does he mean the previous 24 hours? I'm not sure. But at any rate, picking up the ideas the best I can. Being the Zecher Bevurah B'Drush Dal the Kriat Shemah the Yotzer, Shebedefi the Shach the Nimshku Mochin the Keda Penim the Yaakov Rachel the Zun Hayomi. He calls this a new phrase, Zun Hayomi. V'la'achar Tefillah Chem Mistalkin. V'shuv Chosrim Miksasim. Then some of them come back. That is, the Vok of Tevunah comes back. They kind of b'mincha, because we said before that it comes in at the same time, but it hangs over the head. These mochin, the vok, the Tevunah, that it gets kind of penimius is going to come back again. They kind of b'mincha mistalkin la'acharecha, and they leave at that time too. The kind of b'miksasim, that is the vok, the yak, and the yasis, and the vok of Tevunah, they're going to come back again. Shuv ba'arvis, again at nighttime. And then they leave again. So some of them are going to come back again. They keep coming back. These mochin the panim are going to come back a fourth time. The tzorach zivug Yaakov Leah, and what do? They give a shefa that makes it possible for a yichud Yaakov the Rach the chatzos nisbar inyan zecher b'harchov le'el simen Dalit. He said this is really explained in detail. Okay, I think we're out of time. Try to keep moving on. There's new different words that needs lots of chesper, but I'm doing the best I can. I think I could do better by going back and looking up some of these words, like the yichud of kad shah prati. What exactly is that? We'll see. That was in the second siman. We'll look at it again. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. Kol Tov.